everyone. This is Albus with Albus Creates. I wanted to make something a little bit different today. I have been really racking my brain about how I wanted to talk about this and how I wanted to go forward. So I figured this was a great way to hit two birds with one stone. With that said, I have a couple of things that we are going to go over today. Usually, this sort of video format is reserved for tutorials or draw alongs or drawing process. This is more of I'm going to talk about a couple of different things and you get to enjoy my drawing process while I do so. So I hope you enjoy. If you want more of a tutorial or a draw along what is the artist thinking sort of thing, please feel free to let me know. I think that the feedback that I get means that I get to improve my platform over and over and over again, and you guys get to benefit from that. I just need the feedback. So with that said, let's start with my sort of disclaimer with the thing right off the bat. You just watched me do some tracing, and for some people, that is a sin. And for me, it is not. I think tracing is a art tool that we have been using since the dawn of time. And by dawn of time, I do really mean that. There is examples of tracing in cave paintings. There is tracing that was done with a working of the light and a piece of glass. So that way, the thing that you wanted to put on the paper or onto the canvas or whatever you were working on would hit the glass and then sort of transfer that piece of light onto whatever media you're working on, and then artists would trace that. Tracing is a tool. Now, with that said, direct copies from tracing, I think, is a sin. And I think that we need to be very clear with each other about that. And that is part of why I wanted to do this video, is to be transparent with you guys that, like, Albus Elvis traces, you know? I think that it's very useful to make sure that your anatomy is correct. I often will try to get something right without tracing before moving forward. And then if I just cannot get it right, I will trace it. So I use a lot of different reference photos. I use Magic Poser, which you just watched me pull up a reference picture from. I use photos of myself. I use mirrors to do my own sort of references. And then I also use photos of my husband's. God bless my husband. He is so good of a trooper for letting me pose him like he is a little drawing doll. So shout out to my husband. With that said, sort of going forward and away from my little soapbox thing about tracing, I do want to talk a bit about where I'd like my channel to go from here forward. Um, I want to make it very clear I am not done with Our Flag Means Death, but you knew that there was a but coming. I am going to be moving away from it just a little bit. We're still gonna do our flag pieces. That is going to be something that I am going to continue doing. But I do have other interests, and one of those interests is Dungeons and Dragons. And Dungeons and Dragons has been an interest of mine for about 10 years now. It feels very old of me to say that it's been 10 years, but I also know that Dungeons and Dragons has been an interest of people for decades. Decades and decades. It is such a fun game. It is such a fun concept. And I think that getting to play in that realm is going to be very fun for all of us. With that said, I do sort of want to let you know that I picked out most of the subclasses that you can play in 5e, and according to D&D Beyond, I picked out all of the playable races that were like non-repeats. and I plugged all of those into a generator and I made all of the combinations. And I thought to myself, gee, this is going to be 200 pieces, and I'll have content for like a year to play with, and we're going to have a great time. And it turned out I have 1,890 prompts now. So I have, if I create an art piece every 3 days, which is what I was at my peak of drawing, I have like 6 years worth of stuff that I can do. So I don't think that this is going to be a project that I do for 6 years, but I do think that you are going to see quite a few more Dungeons and Dragons pieces based off of that generator list. So with that said, I am excited. I do want to do Dungeons and Dragons pieces. I also am a fan of a couple of other pieces of media that I really want to do work for. I really like The Locked Tomb by Tamsin Muir, and so you are probably going to see some pieces from that. As you saw, if you are part of my, um, I think it's my Safe for Work tier that gets to see previews of stickers. I am also a fan of Gentleman Jack. There are just a bunch of different pieces of media that I do like beyond Our Flag Means Death. And while I do enjoy drawing the boys and do intend to continue drawing them, getting to draw different body types is something that I think is not only important, but also going to be refreshing for me as well. Um, because, like, let's be real. You draw the same three men for 2 years, and all you want to do is draw a muscle mommy. All you want to do is draw a muscle mommy. And so we are drawing a muscle mommy today. I really appreciated getting to share this project with you. I really enjoy getting to um, have patrons and get to do what I get to do every day. I really appreciate your support. And I really hope that you give me some feedback on how you feel about this because I would love to continue doing things that you are enjoying. So, with that, lots of love, and I will see you around.